what's been taken from you, you know, is tribe. Is like working in teams. Oh, you're a count. You're right to Pennington. That's easy. Everything, every class gets.
Welcome everybody to episode 3 of Late Night with JapJap. Obviously, Big Bear has announced that he's gonna, unless I'm like an hour off, either way, I think I'm competing with Big Bear right now. So, it's probably gonna be either a non-existent stream or something that's not going to be very highly popular this evening. I understand that. It's not a big deal. We'll see how it goes. And obviously, because this is still new, it takes a little bit for people to log on and join the chat. So until that point, let's just be patient for a little bit. No big deal.
Split in like 100. And then all your cost of labor, childcare, security, it's all right there. Everyone wants to do it.
So, the reason why I am just kind of like, oh, someone on? Nick, what's up, brother man? How you doing, bro? You jumped on real quick. Dan, welcome, brother. What's a good movie to show your wife? That's a pretty generalized question. Do you have like a specific agenda? Like, or you just want to show your wife like a good movie, or like, what's the motivation behind the question, brother man? Because there's a variety of answers that could be had, depending on the context of that question. Cult classics. Not one of my strong suits, but to bolster my almost entirely lack of knowledge on this, I'm gonna Google search cult classic movies and see if anything pops. Ooh, Judge Dredd. I like that one. Tron is stupid. But most of these I've never seen. Idiocracy might work. I remember that being funny. I watched Pineapple Express, but it was kind of stupid. Oh, dude, you could watch Sharknado. Napoleon Dynamite, obviously stupid. Hot Rod, dumb. Oh, The Notebook is apparently a cult classic. I'm sure your wife would like that. Joe Dirt, that used to be funny, but I feel as though if I watched it now, it wouldn't be funny again. Half-Baked, I've heard of that, but I've never seen it. Apparently, Pirates of the Caribbean is a cult classic. So you watch any of those. Boondock Saints, I think I liked that one. So maybe the Boondock Saints, bro? Because, like, literally, when I Googled cult classic movies, every single other movie on this list was either something I haven't seen or something that was, like, really bad. Yes, I'm the worst person to ask about movies and sports. But I appreciate you asking the question. I've got a feeling it'll be like just me, you, and like maybe like 2 or 3 other people tonight, bro. Because Owen said he was gonna stream at 7 p.m. something time, and I think that correlates with like me right now. So I think I just started a stream at the exact same time Owen did. Just FYI. I'm doing really well, and I'm starting to think that some of my, I guess, craziness that I exhibited earlier on this week, my new hypothesis is not that it was like my extra level of excitement was because I met a pretty girl. My new hypothesis is because I was literally standing in the sun all day, and I don't think this is a real thing, but it's my new hypothesis nonetheless, is that I got a vitamin D overdose. I know that's like pretty much completely illogical, but that's what I'm going with right now. How are you doing, Nick? And Dan, also, how are you doing, brother man? Alright, yeah, you guys are both saying pretty similar things. Dan says, it's true, man. Working construction and looking forward to talking to a girl pumps you up. Yes. Sun, not masturbating, says Nick, and I'm meeting a girl. That'll do it. And then Dan reinforces, 100% fact. See, but like, I'm trying to differentiate between those two, I guess, like, ignition factors. Because the day of, on Monday night when I did this stream, I was definitely more excited about meeting a pretty girl that I thought was super into me. And now it's been a week, like 4 or 5 days. I'm now beginning to think that it was more of a vitamin D, like, overexposure of some sort. Newfoundland Bear, welcome, welcome. Well, so, to be quite honest, like, guys, this is a little bit embarrassing, but I've always been honest with you, so why stop now? I think she purposely gave me the wrong phone number. So here's stupid retard PJ. Like, oh yeah, we're having a great conversation. Awesome, this is so much fun. And like, I guess in her head she was probably like, ah, fuck this guy. That's my best guess right now. Yeah, dude, Dan, exactly. Like, whatever the situation was, no one cares. Oh, so Newfoundland Bear. Basically, I went to a Trump rally on Monday, and I met this really pretty girl, and, like, simultaneously, the day that I met this pretty girl, I was also out in the sun for, like, 8 hours for the first time in a while. And so, Bear Pelagic Bear, welcome, welcome. So, Trina, welcome, brother. So, to answer your question, Newfoundland Bear, is I thought I was all excited about meeting this girl because she was super awesome and based and stuff. But now, after a couple of days of, like, retrospective thinking, my new hypothesis, even though I have no, like, legitimate, like, scientific data, but, like, this is my new hypothesis, is because I was in the sun for, like, all day, I just got, like, an overdose of vitamin D, and it just so happened I also met a pretty girl. That's my best guess now. Dude, Bear Pelagic! Like, that was my thoughts exactly, because, so, just a couple days ago, like, so today's episode 3, so literally 2 days ago, I started late nights with JapJap from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., Arizona time. And it just so happens the third episode, Big Bear just started to stream at the exact same time I did. Whatever. We'll move on. No one will, like, we will live through the winter. Nick says, and the dragon energy of Trunk. Yeah, Nick, that was it. It had nothing to do with me. It was all the dragon energy of Trunk, and I was just in the vicinity of the great God Emperor Trunk, Orange Man. That's it. But so what I'm thinking is, like, chances are she gave me a wrong phone number and I was just, like, overhyped and I was just a retard. These things happen. I get it. No big deal. But what I find most intriguing about the situation is, I guess not the specific female, but it was like when I first noticed her, I wasn't really like super physically attracted to her, but like later on in the event, like we were in line together like to get in, and like we actually had like a really good genuine conversation. And I still don't have the words to describe it. Oh yeah, dude, Nick, hands down. That's my game plan, is pursue God in whatever way, shape, or form I can, and when God deems that I'm ready, then the woman of my dreams will enter stage left. That's literally my game plan. But understanding that's my game plan, and understanding that this girl I met on Monday probably wasn't the one, what I do find interesting is that there's just this really frank and honest and just like really down-to-earth conversation with a very attractive young lass. It kind of sparked something in my heart that I haven't experienced for a couple of years now. So the last girl that I like dated, I thought I was gonna marry her. Long story short, we broke up. And Coach Vinny, whatever the hell your name is, welcome. And so like for a good year and a half, 2 years, like I was just broken hearted and like, me, poor me, and like I just couldn't even think about dating girls. And then for like another year and a half, give or take, I just wasn't in the mood to necessarily. And also, I'm just making fun of your name because I can't pronounce it. If you tell me how to pronounce your name properly, I won't fuck it up in the future, probably. But then for like the next like year and a half, give or take, I was just kind of like, fuck it. Like, I don't really care. I'm just going to focus on getting close to God and like unfucking myself. And that's been a whole up and down journey, obviously, like all of you have experienced. But for literally a good 4 years now, I have not had. I appreciate your understanding, brother, man. For a good like 4 years now, I just haven't had a significant motivation to pursue romantic interests in like a really like meaningful manner. It's been really weird because the majority of my life I've always been like, oh, I need a girlfriend, oh, I need 2 girlfriends, oh, I need 6 girlfriends, and like I've gotten to myself in plenty of trouble pursuing like those kinds of silly adventures. And fuck yourself before you can fuck any other. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, exactly. Unfuck yourself. And so that's what I find interesting about like this event, is that for the first time in about, give or take, about 4 years, I have this like weird spark and desire of romance in my heart again that I haven't had for, like I said, give or take 4 years. And so I don't want to assign this spark to this female I happen to meet. Like, probably just coincidence. We'll see what God has planned. But, and also, guys, like, I'm just killing time and talking right now. I guarantee you, all of you guys have more interesting stories than I do. So I'm just kind of killing time in like retrospect until for a couple more minutes, and then I've got a funny letter to share. Ooh, Trainer Bear, I'm glad that you're fascinated. Sescapades are a grabbler lie and our modern day sirens. Yes, I completely agree. BajoBear, welcome. And like just one of my friends, like to Coca Vinny, Coach, I want to say this right. Coach Iv Annie. I'm gonna say Coach Ivy. Your name is Coach Ivy from now on. That's until you correct me. I'm gonna call you Coach Ivy. But yeah, I completely agree that just having sexcapades and sowing your oats in your early 20s, like that's all bullshit. And Trainer Bear, to be fair, I've like haven't even pursued romantic relationships for the majority of this year. I'm just jumping into this. Shoot, what's going on? Yes, Trainer Bear, but to answer that question, there is an increased level of DMs between single bears, from what I hear. Ivan E. Coach Ivan E. Alright, word. Alright, now I'm all sorts of distracted. What was I talking about? Unfuck yourself. Alright, yeah, so, but basically, either way, like, however this, like, thing turns out, even if I never see this chick again, what I find interesting, I'm trying to scroll, there we go. What I find interesting is this, like, new spark that I find in my heart that I'm not, like, yes, Newfoundland Bear, you tried, and apparently I failed. First Aid Bear, welcome. But like whatever this like new spark in my heart is, I can't quite identify it, but whatever it is, I really enjoy it because every day this week, I can't not work out. Like so for literally 3 or 4 years now, I have spent enormous amounts of money and effort trying to like force myself to be motivated to work out again. Because I used to be like, roar, super ripped, like Superman. And for these past couple years, so like to give you an idea, is I spent an entire year paying a personal trainer $400 a fucking month, dude. On top of the $60 a month I paid for the gym membership. Like, top of the line. And despite that, like, I couldn't get the motivation. And I've noticed a steady increase in female bears. Oh, sweet. Like, good for the bears, I guess. But that's what I found interesting, is I tried, according to all the experts and the books and etc., I literally tried everything under the sun to force myself to get motivated and to stop being such a fat body. Nevertheless, Bear, welcome. I didn't carry a sword with me, but on my lower back, like right where you see this arm going, like on my lower back, that's where I held my K-bar. So whenever, like, so if I'm right-handed, so I thought about this possibility because of the things I've seen and experienced. So if I'm engaging a target, bump, etc., and whether I need to fix bayonet, like, thank God I never had to do that. Bell Reaver, welcome. Or, but much more likely, if an enemy surprised me in a close encounter, then I thought about this. It would be quick because I had a 1-point sling on my M4. And so as I would disengage my M4, the weapon system would sling down just like to here and like hit my inner thigh. And I would quickly, I practice this, quickly unbuckle my K-bar, and then boom, now I'm ready for hand-to-hand combat. War Bear, welcome. Like, at one point in my deployment, I know I'm getting distracted here, but at one point in my deployment, there was a headquarters Marine, basically like a super admin retard, who was assigned to guard duty, and I don't know, to this day, I never learned how it happened, but long story short, some of the prisoners escaped. And so for a couple of days, we were all kind of terrified because the prisoners escaped in our base in the middle of Afghanistan, in the middle of a war zone. And so the first night I heard about this, because like I was on post when it happened. And so I was just on post, like sitting there, like bruh, and I was like watching, like looking for bad guys. And I hear on the radio, like something along the lines of like, the prisoners have escaped. Be advised, the prisoners have escaped. And like me and my post, like guard post mate, we just looked at each other like, fuck. And so then like 4 or 5 hours later, I got off a post and I was just like tired as shit, walking back to my little like sleeping area. And it was cold, like super cold. So one of my buddies, who was also walking back from post, had this like poncho over him, and it looked like he was like a hood, and like he looked like a muzzy. And so Like, we come from like two separate areas, and there's this little alley, and I just see him. I'm like, I instantly just like out of reflex, like as I'm pulling out my weapon, I grab a magazine and insert it, and like rack. I'm like, get the fuck down, motherfucker! Just like, dude, it was all muscle memory, just boom. And then his name was Christian, his last name. And then Christian was like, Dino, it's Christian. What the fuck, man? I was like, oh shit, my bad, man. But dude, like, our tensions were definitely very high at that time. What was the camp follower scene like in Afghanistan? Courage Bear, welcome, welcome. The only time I ever interacted with camp followers, per se, 3 situations. Situation 1 was when I was buying cigarettes for like literally $1 a pack. It was silly. Yeah, you heard M4. That was the weapon system that I was assigned when I was in Afghanistan. 2 was when I was buying other random like food, like eggs or tea or whatever from the locals. And 3 was one time when I was on guard post, me and my buddy thought it would be funny to see if we could try and buy a goat, because we were given very, very limited Pashto. Pashto is the language spoken over there. We got very, very limited Pashto training. And so one day me and my buddy were bored, and there was this goat herder coming along, like on the outside of the base, of course. And we just started like yelling Pashto things at him. And like we were just fucking around, and turns out we knew enough Pashto to literally buy a goat. So I kind of accidentally, on a like just as a joke, bought a goat, and that was a whole fun little thing. And then eventually my executive officer, the second highest officer in the battalion, found out that I bought a goat, and I was keeping it in the donkey area. It took him like 3 weeks to find out, but once he did, he called me into his office, and he's like, Dino, like, yes, sir. You got to get rid of the goat. Aye, sir. Can I eat the goat, sir? Because like, he already knew me, so he knew I was ridiculous. And he's like, Dino, I don't care what you do with the goat, man. Just get rid of the goat. Like, we can't have that shit on our base. Aye, sir. And then he dismissed me. And literally that day, I killed little baby Murdoch. I named my goat Murdoch. Alright guys, I've been talking for a minute for the intro. So, now that some of you guys are on, I'm going to pull up this, what is it? Nope, that's not it. So, a while back, I was just kind of like curious about the various like Reddit posts about Owen Benjamin, and turns out that a bunch of like Reddit trolls figured out a very easy way to look up Owen Benjamin, like his exact address in Gig Harbor. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of creepy, but also very easy. Because like literally all they did was like they type in Owen Benjamin Smith, Gig Harbor, Washington, and then the tax records came up. And so I was like, I know that the records have not yet been updated, but I wonder what happens if I do the same thing if I just Owen Benjamin Smith, Sandpoint, Idaho. Just out of curiosity today. And I found this this funny like petition that people, or like news article or whatever, that I'm just going to read this news article. It's obviously 100% just like absurdity, but like this, like, it kind of opened my eyes, because like when Owen is always saying like, oh yeah, all these people are like constantly throwing like shade my way, like etc., like different vocabulary, get it, but like T.Y. Richards and like those assholes, they sent CPS towards Owen. Like, I've heard these things, but I haven't seen a significant volume of evidence, even though I trust him and I believe what he's saying. And so this is just something, an article that I found on my own. And as I read this, obviously, K-Bar was just, let me see if I can find it. Stand by. I think I've got one over here. Yeah, here we go. K-Bar. Alright, so the purpose of a K-bar is basically like the old school bayonet. So how I had it is like on the back of my utility belt, I had my K-bar right here. And obviously this is not a Marine Corps issue K-bar. There's a little flap that I would have to undo. But I would undo the flap and be boom! And be K-bar. But for those of you that are unaware of the purpose of a K-bar, that's the purpose. Not only do I have a pew-pew, like a pew-pew, but now I've got a stabby-stabby on the end of my pew-pew. And for those of you that are trained in the use of such weapons, the stabby-stabby on the end of a pew-pew can be very dangerous in the right hands. But without further ado, here is this absurd article. So the title is called Citizen Advocacy Group Opposes Owen Benjamin's White Nationalist Cult Compound in Sandpoint, Idaho. And it's MENAFN News, whatever the hell that is. But it's announcing a new campaign in opposition to a plan. Dude, guys, so how Owen like hit the initial like just kind of like not even game plan, but just kind of like hip pocket game plan. Wait, if I get 5,000 people to donate $400, then we can buy this super dope compound for the Bears. Tartarian Productions, welcome. You guys all know that was the main plan, and that was just kind of a like hip pocket kind of thing. But this article took it and said, Stand Against White Supremacy announces a new campaign in Sandpoint, Idaho, in opposition to a planned 5,000-man cult compound. Former West Hollywood piano comic turned white supremacist cult leader Owen Benjamin Smith is raising funds from his followers to purchase over 200 acres in northern Idaho. It continues like that for the entire article. It's hilarious. Like, all the things that us bears find either hilarious or productive about the bear community, this single article takes and just perverts it and tries to put, like, they actively attempt to make it sound crazy, but despite their active attempts, it's still just hilarious. Alright guys, so I shared my funny little article, and I could have read more, but you guys get the gist. It's basically like another 5 minutes of that. So we got a couple people here going on now. How is everyone doing? Does anyone have any gravy? What is going on? And should I grab a beer? The reason why I ask is because if I start drinking, chances are the live stream, Late Night with JapJap, will last longer than I want it to. And I know it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. We'll see. Bellweaver, I'm a Marine. AKA Superman, AKA my liver will never die. Don't I have 2 of those? No, I've got 1 liver, I've got 2 kidneys. That's what it is. Biology, bitch. Yeah, that's it. Courage Bear has it. They've got a super squirt crush on him, and so they've got to try and make him look as bad as possible because they really want to get with him. Newfoundland Bear says drink or smoke. Don't do both. Well, I guess I've already made my decision then. At least according to Newfoundland Bear. Exactly, BajoBear. Nobody loves you but me. How dare you try and do things and build Beartaria? Stop it. Only I love you. How dare you? Pretty much. You see, I had a really good day today, and tomorrow I'm gonna be up like all day in the sun again. So I guess that I was trying to use that as an excuse to drink more, but now logically thinking about it, if I'm gonna be in the sun all day tomorrow, that's a dehydrating factor, which means I would probably want to not drink something that further dehydrates me for tomorrow. Damn. Oh, dude, so, they're not called MREs. What are they called? I only ever had them in Afghanistan. But, they're very similar to MREs, but it's for argument's sake, let's say the MREs are designed for, 1 MRE per day. I know I'm getting the numbers off. I know. But let's just, hypothetically go with me. Let's say that the MREs are designed for 3,000 calories for 1 day. This other meal that I'm talking about that was packaged the same way as MREs had 2.5 times the calories and was designed to last for 2 days. And I know the numbers aren't all right, but so to answer your question, First Aid Bear, is we had minimum 3,000 calories per day, but there were a lot of days I would go to 4, 5, 6,000. And I would still be dead and spent. Especially right before the Battle of Thanksgiving, I spent 5 days awake patrolling and fighting, because the 6th day before Thanksgiving I was supposed to go on a mounted patrol, and for some bullshit reason that I don't remember, I got pulled off that patrol. That patrol I was supposed to go on, that vehicle I was supposed to be in got blown up by an IED, and 4 of my buddies died. And so I felt so guilty about that I spent 5 days just patrolling, because in my fucked up little mind I was like, alright, because I wasn't on that patrol, my brothers died. So if I go on every patrol ever, then no one will die. Obviously that was stupid and wrong, but I was able to keep it up for 5 days before I passed out. And ironically enough, the day when I passed out, that was I passed out Thanksgiving morning, and the Battle of Thanksgiving was literally the largest battle of our entire deployment, ironically enough. You're on about 1,000 calories? I've actually been playing around with that this week. I just got a little note. So because when I was super raw, ripped and everything in the Marine Corps, I was 185, 6% body fat, at 5'9", that's pretty significant. And most of that was because I was young, I had a high metabolism, and I was working out all day every day in addition to the Marine Corps stuff I was doing. So fast forward 10 years, obviously I don't have the same lifestyle. There's a lot of different things that are different. So I'm adjusting to that, especially because I haven't been working out in several years now. So for example, for example, when I was in my peak shape, I could run 3 miles in less than 18 minutes, no problem. Today was the first time I did a little walkabout, and in 30 minutes, I got 1.8 miles. And I was a little bit woo! Do I feel pathetic, in a piece of shit? Yes. Do I understand this is where greatness starts? Yes. Does it take away from how much it sucks? No. Will I get better? Yes. Damn gosh darn grabblers sent our brothers there to death, my replacement husky driver. Pretty much. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna grab a beer. tips on getting in running shape. So as I just described earlier, I used to be in like tip-top shape, like very, very good shape. And now I'm not. So even though I have the experience and knowledge of previous years, WarBear, shut your damn mouth. I'm actually giving Coach AV, whatever the hell his name is, good tips. Because just saying run is not beneficial. It's the first stage before you can really begin working out is finding out where the hell you're at. Because Newfoundland Bear, don't encourage WarBear. Because if you just say run, no, I didn't get too infuriated. Well, there were times I got infuriated. Like, yeah, definitely. But when I was in the Middle East, that's when I wrote most of my poetry. Because I was just so overwhelmed by so many emotions at the time. And for me, poetry has always been something that like helps me release emotions. So most of the time I just wrote tons of poetry. Newfoundland Bear, better. But before you even begin jogging or running, like today was the first time I did any sort of cardio in years, literally. And knowing what I know about fitness, like I spent a year in community college studying nothing but fitness things, on top of all my Marine Corps knowledge, etc., etc. I got blown up a couple of times. It was mainly just PTSD stuff, though. And so, like today, being the first day, like, yes, I know I could have tried jogging, I could have tried running, and I could have done that either on pavement or the treadmill. And there's a variety of techniques for your first cardio exercise in a cycle. But because it's been so long for me, and I'm not exactly sure where my cardiovascular system is, except what the exact condition of my various muscles, which I've been playing with this whole week and doing various exercises this whole week. Always been a weightlifter, gotten into boxing, down 50 pounds. Yeah, exactly. Like, once you're already in a routine, then running has very specific purposes within your cycle. But when you don't have, like for me, right now, I'm a fatty, I don't have the muscular base needed for a lot of like normal things for working out. And one of those weaknesses that I have right now is a lack of cardiovascular training. So today, just to see where I was at, I did, yes, swimming is great. Today I put the treadmill on for 30 minutes and I did 3.5, which for me was a very fast-paced walk. And I just like, today wasn't to try and like push myself super hard to like just go balls to the walls. Today was like, all right, where am I at? I don't want to like overextend my kneecap or rip my ACL, etc., etc., because all my like joints and such have been in such disuse for so long. You've got to take things slow and work them up, because stair climbers legit. Elevated walking is badass. There's a ton of these awesome workouts you can do, but whatever workout you're doing, exactly Newfoundland Bear. The Marine Corps taught me crawl, walk, run. So right now, as a fat piece of shit, I'm in the crawl stage. And I hate to admit it, but I've got to be honest with where I'm at. I'm in the crawl stage. Give me a week or two, hopefully, maybe longer, and then I can start walking again, like in the terms of working out. Vodka fan. Used to be a big fan. I don't drink hard alcohol anymore. Courage Bear loves WarBear, apparently. Do any of you guys have any gravy or any conversation topics? Any of you guys want to jump on this evening? I always feel weird when I've been talking for too long, because I don't want late nights with JapJap to be all about me just like, me, I'm a special boy. Like, I want to hear like about your guys' lives. Like, I want this to be an interactive thing. Is there a sense of my time in the military, I was more of a man than then? Oh, yes. Yes. Definitely. And I wouldn't necessarily say that what you speak of, Trainer Bear, is something that is prevalent within the majority of service members. But what I do notice is that a lot of service members have a decline in physical fitness level once they exit active service. And obviously there's a variety of reasons for that. Mine, turns out, was just more of a relationship thing as opposed to like a military thing. Like, yeah, I had PTSD the whole time, but for me it was more of like my heart was broken, so I just stopped caring, and then I got fat. Well, also I got crippled for 9 months. That kind of fucked me too. But like I said, everybody's got their own unique situations. It's just like it tends to be like a thing when like you spend minimum 4 years of your life in like this kind of pattern, and then all of a sudden this next day you don't have that pattern anymore. That really messes with your mind a lot. And a lot of people don't really understand how drastic that can be. Bell Reaver, are you retarded? Bell Reaver says, I think the Jews are overrepresented in banking. Bro, this is common knowledge. Bell Reaver, you're better than this, bro. We've talked it before. You know I love you. You're better than this, bro. Come on, man. Like, dude, Bell Reaver, literally last night, people were asking for you to jump on. Oh, given that concept, like, Bell Reaver, do you want to get on, bro? People were literally asking for you last night. Oh, you can't talk loud. That's unfortunate. And BajoBear is sending a bunch of little masks, because apparently that means something. BajoBear, are you speaking in symbolism now? Do I need to get out my like special decoder ring to figure out what your real meaning is? First Aid Bear, pff, banking? Jews? Who are these Jews you speak of? Well, anytime Bajo is trying to use the H, like literally the word H, like ha ha, Bajo has trouble saying that. So you gotta be a little bit more specific, bro. Like Bajo says ja ja. Does anybody want to get on? Like, I'm starting to feel a little bit self-conscious here, because normally, by this point, someone gets on, and then I can just, like, have a normal conversation, and then just kind of vibe off of the chat and everything. But right now, I'm just kind of providing all of the visual content, and that's kind of weird for me. Mary Joanna? Si, senor. Mucho Mary Juana. Ah, fuck you too, BajoBear. Like, this is actually, like, I just, like, so, what I learned recently is that little, like, up here in the corner of the screen, like right there, the little live button for me. When I'm live streaming, I can push that button and see how long the stream has been going. And so we're at 45 minutes right now. I've literally never gone this long without having someone like come on. Well, Bellweaver said he couldn't talk very loudly. So like he's got a situation going on. And I'm not trying to pressure anybody. It's just like I'm being, yes, BajoBear, fuck yeah. I've just never spoken for 45 minutes solid before. So I was feeling kind of weird.
What's up?
Is that Joe Rogan?
Hey guys, we're gonna do some DMT. I'm gonna flip flop on this podcast. I'm gonna believe in God, and then tomorrow I'm not. And then the next podcast after that, I'm gonna believe in multiple universes, and think God is gay. Every podcast ever.
Right.
Okay, so I think I articulated my question.
Oh yes, I did want to hear your question from last night.
Hold on, let me go in the front yard because I don't know where to sit here. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna have to break it down in like 7 questions.
Is that why you sent so many questions last night at the end? You were trying to figure it out?
Yeah, because I was like, how am I gonna put this? It makes no sense. All right. So, I guess when I was younger, when I used to go to Venice Beach, I used to see like those side performers, like those. They would have like presentations, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
And I always would see like base Negroes always like have a presentation about like the 9/11 stuff, and I was like 7 or 8, so I didn't know what the hell that was. Now I was like a little. It was like, I swear they were like. Okay, let's see, what year was this? If it was 2001, okay, that was first, second, third. I was like in 4th grade, so that was like 2004, 2005, and they were on the whole like conspiracy theory for 9/11. And I remember at the time, you know, like now if like you say like 9/11, everyone's like, oh yeah, I love conspiracy theories too. But then like you go like, oh yeah, and space might be fake, and then they're like, whoa, you're an asshole, and then they like combat you. Back then, people didn't combat the whole 9/11 conspiracy theory at like 2004. It was like 3 years after, because I don't think a lot of people understood conspiracy theories. And my question basically means, or as on the lines of like, okay, me and you, we're pretty understanding of conspiracies. Like we're on another level of bandwagon conspiracy theories, right? So, okay. See, I don't know how to explain it still. Okay.
Dude, just give it a go.
Yeah.
And if you fuck up, like, correct yourself.
It's legit.
Give it a go.
It's like legit gonna come out in tongues. I'm like, like it's just okay.
If you need to correct yourself 1,000 times, so be it. Like,
Okay. So let's say it's 2004. Let's say it's 2002, and we see the 9/11. I mean 2001, and we see the 9/11 as it's happening, right? Me and you. Let's say me and you are the only ones who are like, dude, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I mean, I'm seeing 2 buildings fall down, but what's really happening right now? Like, they're trying to make us go to war with these fucking assholes, and I don't even know what the hell a Muslim is. And you see that too. And we're both like, you know, we already know who Lucky Silverstein is. Sure, some people died. That sucks. I to make it like seem better for me, there's probably nobody in the planes. There probably weren't any planes, whatever. The people in the towers are probably on Epstein Island, and there's only like 20 people that jumped out. Everybody else, and the firefighters, that's the only ones I'm like kind of maybe the firefighters.
All right, so,
but anyway, the point is,
the
point is there the same amount of people waking up throughout the years, or is it just always like right now? There's like seems like there's a bunch of people waking up, quote unquote, but like okay. There's 20,000 bears,
so,
right? Was there 20,000 bears, but they didn't know there were bears 10 years ago? You see what I'm saying?
I see where you're coming from, and I think a good way to answer your question is the stock market crash, like the Great Depression in the 30s.
Okay.
Like that's a cyclical event There's nothing new under the sun.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And it doesn't have, it's not like exactly 100 years, obviously, like, but there's cycles of the seasons of all of creation. 46 Bear Fest, welcome. And so 9/11 is like as a specific event, yes, is super traumatic, and we can get into all the specifics and like tons of interesting things on that. But what I think is more important than the specific event is the symbolic event of in this time period, something tragic happened, and that led to XYZ, which historically speaking, there's been a different tragic scenario that's had similar consequences that led to similar XYZ.
See, that's why I'm like confused. Because like, okay, I guess another thing is like, because like, wouldn't we? Because if the Bears aren't new, and 200 years ago there was another group of the Bears, wouldn't we know who those Bears were, or we would be able to
No,
find out? No.
no.
Okay.
So if that previous group of, let's say, hypothetically bears from 200 years ago, if for whatever reason they were not able to perpetuate their community, they just would have faded out and the news would have forgotten them.
That's
And
what
the
I'm
history
thinking.
book
Yeah.
would have never written anything about them. Because they're not part of the B system. They're antithetical to the B system. So why would the B system history record their existence?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Where it's like the people who I've seen throughout my years, where it's like, because like sometimes okay, here's another like how I see it too. Because I see people who I think well, like I wasn't awake probably at 15, right? Because I was only 15. So I didn't know what the hell was going on. But I remember seeing people like get drunk or some shit, and they're like talking to me. Like, dude, I remember when I used to work at this, I used to pull pipe in Ontario for like irrigation. And my manager, the boss, was like, "Oh yeah, like, hey, do you think the Earth is flat?" Like he would ask me stuff like that, and I remember being an NPC. I was answering like an NPC, and I remember that I was like, "Well, all the photos are CGI and or not CGI, but like they like I was like saying scripts, and then like looking
Yeah.
back, I was like, fuck, I was an NPC." So I'm thinking, that's why when I hear like, I think we can wake people up, not like we don't waste all our energy, but like if some people can stay asleep and the propaganda makes them stay asleep, I think we can also do our best to wake them up. Obviously, not forcing them to wake up. So
So I view waking people up similar to sharing the gospel.
yeah,
Like, just because I tell you about Jesus Christ for the first time ever, doesn't mean you're going to convert, doesn't mean anything. It just, by me being obedient to God, I'm sharing the gospel in an appropriate manner, and that plants a seed. Whether or not I ever learn that you ever become a Christian has nothing to do with me. And very similar with like truth and waking people up that way. Like if you just happen to meet someone, or whether it's like one of your good friends, it's not a matter of you feeding them the right information to wake them up or
right.
the right information to save their souls. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's those who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, and everyone who has those blessings are blessed with those things at different times in their lives. And it's got nothing to do with us.
Yeah,
Like the best we can do is love our neighbors as ourselves, you know?
because like sometimes people come up to me and they ask like very direct questions, and I'm like, that's a question of waking up. It's like it is a responsibility, I think, where if someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, I'm having this problem with like whether or not God exists or not, and I'm like, well, he does, but it's like you have
Well,
to,
yeah,
yeah, and it's like, whether that's like the first planting of the idea of it, I still think it's a responsibility that we have to help them wake up, not forcing them. Like sometimes like, if they come back and they ask more questions, that's obviously the best thing for them. And because I
exactly.
always tell them, I'm like, hey, do what you want, but this is what I've done, and this is what what I see, because I don't want to just tell people the negatives of everything and not give them a
Hmm.
plan. Like someone just came up to me, a very close person, and they said, because a female, and she was like, I don't. She's like, I want to go back to school, and I was like, you're just gonna be an intellectual and come out stupider. Like you're just gonna be a dum dum, and you're gonna be
Yep.
$80,000 in debt and no kids. And she's like, well, I don't really want kids, and I was like, then why even worry? And I know, and I told her this. I said, then why worry about anything in life? You're just gonna turn into dust and nothing happens. Why you so worried if you're just gonna die?
Yes.
And then she was like, she didn't know what to like say, but
Yeah.
she was like, and I was like, do what you want. Here's what I recommend. If do something you really like, that's gonna be, you can make money within like 3 months or whatever. And I was like telling her, I was like trying to like say other stuff like, well, money, I know money's not real, but I'm playing the game of Monopoly, and in that game of Monopoly, I play the rules, but I don't get crazy and I don't get angry and I don't get whatever all this. She was like, okay, and I was like, don't go into $80,000 of debt because you're never gonna get out of that. And I know some people. She was gonna get psychology, and I was like, I know eight. I can call 15 people right now, and ask them how much are they making right now, and they're gonna be at negative $100,000, and they're not
Yeah.
making any money because no one's hiring them. And she was like, oh fuck. Well, are you sure? And I was like, I'm positive. They're positive. I'm positive that they're negatively not making any money. And then I was like, but do what you want. And I told her, I was like, this is my Christian side, and I want you to understand that. And I was like, suffer and die. If you choose to go to school, suffer and die. You just sign up my hotel. No, we already skipped. We already went. It's already the next person's turn. See, knowing Monopoly, the rules say that if you miss and I land on your spot and I didn't have to pay you if it was already the next player's turn.
Then
Sorry,
I can't charge you rent if someone else rolled.
sorry. I spent the night, left in the morning. I left before you
You
woke up.
should have hired a better receptionist, bitch.
Pleasure doing business with you, asshole. Yeah, see, that's it's so funny. It's really funny, but she's been coming around a lot, and she was telling me a book, such a grabbler book, dude. Like a fucking dude. He looked like what's his name? Not Noam Chomsky. What's his name? Fuck, he looked like a Simpsons character. Fucking, he looked like a grabbler. His last name was Toll, Tolle. I don't know. It was oh shit, I should remember the title name. Anyway, but it was about this is his backstory. His backstory was
Eckhart Tolle?
Edgar. No, yes. Does he have like a really small head? His chin is like pointy, and he looks like a big ass forehead.
Like this fucker?
Yep, that's him. Eckhart. Yeah. Doesn't he look like a Simpsons character?
Yeah, he looks like a creeper, dude, for real.
Yeah. And so his backstory on the back of the book said, um, he's indifferent between religions and whatever. So I was like, so he's a fucking lukewarm anything. He's a loser. Like he's not picking a side. At least if he was like an all out Satanist, I'd be like, mad respect. He's proud of being a Satanist, but he's not. He's like, I'm indifferent between all religions and I'm a little in between of everything. And I was like,
Well, see, that's what a lot of Satanists say, though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
But it's like I told her, I was like, I fell for the whole Jordan Peterson with the you have to understand. I can't do a fucking it's all about whether or
you
not
gotta clean your room, bucko!
you gotta clean your room, bucko. And if it really comes down to it, I can't do it. I tried. I can only do like general accents. I can't do.
Definitely not doing meth there, eh?
I'm not. I mean, if it takes meth, I can't do it. But I told her I was like,
Sorry, mate. I didn't fuck my daughter.
why are you turning Irish? I tell you, I taught me the morning. I did not fuck my daughter. I did not diddle her. I did not diddle her the fiddler.
Well, when I said I swear, mate, it started turning Australian, and then after that, it started turning Irish. I was like, oh no, what am I doing?
And I told
All
her,
right, but all right, everybody. Instagram only gives me an hour at a time, and we've got 20 seconds left, so I'm cutting on out, but I will be right back shortly thereafter.
do you want me to jump back on?
Do you want to jump back on, Bajo? All right. I'll see you soon.